Hi, this is Donna Taide, and it is time again for another reading. We'll do it different this time. Instead of having three separate videos, I'll just put it all in one video, and I will put a timestamp on the spread that you choose, and you just jump into that for your reading. Okay, so let's get on with it. So you chose the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. So the first card you picked is Yang. This is the masculine card. This is creative action. This is the male energy. This is the ability to take action. However, you got it on reversed. When you get a reversed card, don't panic. It's not bad luck. It just means that Spirit is giving you extra protection. It wants you to look into something or perhaps a better way of doing things. Okay, as is other spreads, the first position is usually the foundation or the background of the concern. It could represent the past that is influencing you right now. So you got the yang reversed, and this means that spirit is kind of asking you to chill a bit. Okay, it's asking you to step back, think before you act. It's gonna could get you into trouble. Um, it's also saying that you want to be sure with what you are actually chasing, because you might be sorry when you get it. Don't be afraid of this card. It's just asking. It's good advice. It's just asking you to chill a bit, calm down, take a step back, practice a little diplomacy, and watch out for those triggers. Stepping back is good because it gives you the ability to look at things more objectively and see how you feel about it. Okay, so that's the first card. The second card here talks about the hidden influences. Simply means there must be something you're not seeing and it wants to come to light for you to consider. So for this spread, you got the opposite of the first card, which is the yin card, but it's also unreversed. So what does this tell you? If yang is the masculine card, then yin is the feminine energy card. Okay? The yin card is the card of receptivity. It's the card of letting someone else take the first move. And as the book says, it's the art of conscious allowing. So, what does this mean when it's in reverse? This being on reverse means probably have a trouble receiving. You always want to be the giver, to be the leader. And similar to the first card, it kind of advises that you step back and allow others, allow things to unfold, let things flow. You can't always lead, you can't always be the one to teach, you can't always be the one to give. You have to be the receiver, you have to be the student, and you have to be open for abundance to come in. So this card is also flow. It's telling you that you're putting blocks for others to help you, perhaps. And a part of it maybe is you have a problem with others being kind to you. Maybe you feel like you don't want to trouble anybody, so you'll be the one to just take in all the hassle and the burden, and that puts a toll on you. You begin to feel it's like me, 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 me. Why me? Why me all the time? And the card says here it's kind of your own doing. So pay attention to that. Okay. The third card is the challenge card. It's simply what's blocking you from your goal, from expressing who you really are. And for this card, after this spread, you got come to the edge. Come to the edge card is the card of courage, of taking a leap of faith and overcoming fear and accepting risks. So it being in the challenge position tells me that you're afraid. You're already looking at the edge. You know where you want to go. You know what you want to do, but it's like can't. It's too uncomfortable or it's too scary. But you're already there at the edge. And Spirit is asking you to go to the uncomfortable, to step out of your comfort zone, to step into the unfamiliar. And that's when things happen. That's where the next best version of you is at. And you're not going to get there by just looking over the edge. Otherwise, you'll just be where you are, where you've always been. So there's no other way to put it. The task here is to make a step out and trust and surrender that Spirit has your back. You already know what you want. So what's stopping you? Take note, however, of the first two cards that came out. The first one says stop controlling, and the second card says allow the flow. So stop trying to be the architect of everything, of every possible scenario. This card is asking you to trust, pay attention to guidance, pay attention to the flow, allow the flow, and your step outside your comfort zone might be a little easier if you let Spirit work with you. But Spirit's not going to push you out of this. You have to make a choice. You have to make that first step. And something tells me that when you do, you're not going to regret it. And you're going to realize that you've spent most of your time just worrying yourself sick. Okay? The fourth card is the advice card. This is what can support you. And for this particular spread, you got clean it up. Very simple. It just means declutter. Okay, declutter your physical space. Everything that's out of place and everything that's piled up just obviously takes up space. Again, it affects flow. And if you've ever read or watched Marie Kondo, you would understand how the things that are around you matter a lot in how you think, in how it makes you feel. So it's good and practical advice. Clean up, declutter, throw away stuff you don't need, or again, as she puts it, does not spark joy. But this card does not only mean physical decluttering, it means emotional, mental declutter. Take note of where your thoughts have been lately. Is it just in fear and worry? You know that 80-90% of our worries don't happen, right? So that's gunk. That's junk that needs to be released emotionally also. You know, all these unresolved hurts and resentment take up a lot of energetic space. And when you're filled with these things that anchor you to the past, these things where you hemorrhage or where you leak out your energy, you'll be depleted and you won't have enough to create new things. You won't have enough to perhaps have the courage to take a leap and get you to where you want to go because you're stuck. You're stuck with all the mess around your life, around your mind, around your heart, and around your home. This card, very simple, very practical advice. Time to Marie Kondo your life. The fifth card usually tells us where we are headed. It shows us a trajectory. It can tell us what lessons we need to learn and pretty much where we're going if we follow the advice. For this spread, you got serendipity. And serendipity means good luck, means things are falling into place, means synchronicity, and the awareness of how magically things are aligning around your life. Now, you got this on reversed. Now, don't panic. This does not mean bad fortune, bad luck for you. Again, it's a protection card, and Spirit just wants you to pay attention to something. Okay, for this card, I think what you need to learn here is that the universe doesn't give a damn about our feelings. What it is only concerned with is creating creating the situations and events, attracting people based on our choices and what we said we set out to do. It does not judge good, bad, happy, sad. It just is. It's telling us that things will not always be rosy and flowers and balloons and all things bright and sunny. It's not. It doesn't work that way. There will be challenges, and often these challenges that we attract brings us our greatest opportunities for growth. It does not mean that when we are called to step outside our comfort zone to follow our dreams that it's going to be easy and comfortable. It's not. Well, at least not always. And what is important to look at this situation is that we don't curse these things that happen. Instead, ask who I want to be, who I choose to be in these challenges, in this difficult situation, or in this difficult person. So, where this thing is leading and asking you to do is to pay attention to these signs, to guidance, and make choices about yourself when things happen, good or bad. For example, when encountered with a difficult person that you're always annoyed and pissed with, your choices will determine who you are. Am I going to be a jerk as well? Or will I be strong and whole and not let her take away my worth? So the advice here, I think, is pretty simple. Pay attention to the signs around you. Pay attention to how things are falling into place. Pay attention to all the events, the people that come along, regardless if they are difficult experiences or difficult people. They are gifts, sometimes wrapped in ugly packaging, but are gifts nonetheless. Okay, let's just pick another card to give a little clarity on this one. Okay, we picked the blessed card. I think this is a fitting ending for this spread. It's a reassurance. Whatever it is that you are going through, it may be challenging. Please be assured that it is a blessing and that you are blessed. So don't curse and don't overanalyze. Just choose and choose again and choose again. Okay, I hope this helps. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and have a chat with me below. Bye. Hey, so you picked the second spread. We used the Archangel Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. So let's get on with it. The first position talks about the foundation of the issue, sometimes talks about the past, or basically the overview. So for this spread, you got Archangel Ariel, which is the courage card. And in the card, you can read, be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. I think what we are dealing here is pretty straightforward. It demands courage, and you're probably at the place where you are having doubts or having second thoughts about moving forward with whatever it is you desire, with whatever it is you choose to express your better self. And I guess what Archangel Ariel is saying is you do have the courage, and much of what you fear is just an illusion, that you actually do have what it takes. So being on the first position, it just reminds you that this is what you are dealing with, and perhaps this is what needs to be learned at this point. So trust that the angels have your back. Now, the second position for this spread talks about the hidden influences. There may be some things that you are not aware of that is influencing this situation and that it needs to be brought to light. So in this spread, you got clairvoyance from Archangel Raziel. And the affirmation reads, I am helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. So I think what this wants to reveal is that you are very empathic. You are an empathic being. You are probably not so aware that you already are sensing sensitive energy and a lot of energetic information around you. And this is influencing you. Let me give you an example. You wake up in the morning, you had a good night's rest, you're pretty fine, you're happy, you're okay, no big worries. You take a commute to work, you get in the office, and in just a couple of minutes, all of a sudden, you start to feel anxious, you start to worry about stuff, or you have strange, heavy feelings. You begin to wonder, hey, what the hell? I was fine and now I'm afraid, now I'm anxious, I'm irritated, and you think it's you. And what's happening here is probably the person behind you or the guy next to you during your commute is already anxious or is having all these negative feelings that he's bringing in, and you are receiving this information and it's entering your field. And the problem is you think it's yours. And this is what I mean by you are sensitive to a lot of energetic information. And being in the second position, this card tells you that you kind of need to pay attention, know the difference from what is yours and what is not yours. I'm convinced one of the reasons that there's an epidemic of mental illness is because a lot of young people are born empaths, right? And you're probably one of them. Many don't have the ability to distinguish what is theirs and what is not theirs. So this card tells you that this is influencing you greatly, and maybe you need to stop and start to observe how sensitive you are, because yep, it is affecting your ability to progress. And used properly, this will definitely be very useful to you and will most certainly benefit you with what you're trying to accomplish. For the third card, the third position is the challenge or the obstacle. And the card here simply talks about what is in your way. And again, what you need to pay attention to so that you can overcome it. And for this spread, you got prosperity card. Again, Archangel Ariel. And the affirmation here reads, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. So this card is clearly the abundance card, but it is in the challenge position. And what this tells me, you probably have a lot of limiting beliefs that block you from claiming your birthright of limitless abundance. You may have a lot of belief about money that have been passed on to you and that you feel strongly about. For instance, money is the root of all evil, or you got to work hard for your money, or limiting beliefs like about how you value your work and what you do, worthiness. And all these things are blocks for abundance. And abundance does not just mean material and financial abundance. We're talking about pretty much everything, like being abundant in soulful relationships, being abundant in good health. All these beliefs that you have about abundance and what you deserve are blocks that you need to rethink. I'd go as far as saying you need to unlearn, because that is the only thing that is keeping you from your dreams. That's the only thing that's keeping you from expressing the next best version of yourself. I also get the sense that this has something to do about safety and security, about trusting that you will be provided for and that heaven has your back, and about how deserving you are of the blessings that come your way. So, again, prosperity card on the challenge or on the obstacle position simply means examine your beliefs about abundance and worthiness. Okay. The fourth position in this spread is pretty much the advice card, or what will support you. And I love that you got the spiritual understanding card again by Archangel Raziel. You seem to just have two archangels here who are quite persistent. And Raziel says, I am bringing you esoteric information and symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. So for me, the advice here is very clear and simple. There's a call for you to awaken already. Go deeper into the exploration of your spirit and how you relate to the world and the entire universe around you. There's a call here to start paying attention to the signs, to again, all the information, the energetic information that you are receiving, because not only are you able to receive energetic information from your fellows, but you are also able to receive information from the divine. And I'm pretty sure that you already are receiving guidance. The thing is, we may just be ignoring them. And I'm not just talking about all the physical signs and serendipitous events that happen, like seeing repeating numbers or seeing strange symbols everywhere that are just persistent, or through dreams, thoughts, and some visions. But more importantly, the subtle guidance that you always hear and feel. This is quite easy to ignore. But one thing I'm pretty sure is that heaven is persistent. You kind of just need to stop and really listen. You know, I'd always say for those of us who do pray, we kind of often forget a very important part in prayer, which is communicating with the divine, is that we need to shut up and listen, because you're not having a conversation if it's just one way, right? So, how often do we really stop and be still and listen? Listen to our thoughts and our feelings. I am very convinced that this is one way, in fact, one of the clearest way that heaven speaks to us. So, to sum up the advice, shut up, listen to guidance, and be open to new ideas and truths that will surely be revealed to you at the right moment. Don't be afraid. Now, the fifth card is a likely outcome if the advice is followed, and also gives continuing advice. And I love what you got here. Again, it's Archangel Ariel, and he says, spread your wings. Do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you are ready to soar. How beautiful is that? I don't think this needs much explanation. Go back to the spread and it tells you, let go of your fears. You are empathic, you are powerful, you are sensitive. Clear those beliefs about worthiness, about what you deserve, about prosperity. It does not serve you, it will not serve you. Awaken. Time to wake up and expand your consciousness. And the outcome is it will let you soar, or at least you will be put in a position where all the pieces are in place and you cannot hold back anymore. And it will not make sense to hold back anymore, because you need to soar, you need to fly, just like the image on this card. There's really nothing much to say after that. Well, I guess as just a bonus, I usually like getting an extra card to pretty much sum up the whole thing. You got overcoming difficulties, and it's Archangel Jeremiah. And he says, the worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges. What? So, what the hell are you waiting for? Go! Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and have a chat with me below. Bye. So you pick the third spread, and this one is called The Soul's Journey Lesson Cards by James Van Praagh. So this spread is a little different because this one gives you a little insight as to what your soul is trying to do at the moment, what it's trying to learn, and what its agenda is. So let's jump in. So for this spread, we're going to start with the fifth position, the last card here. And this card is what you are probably working on in at least for this story arch, right? And you got the adversity card, right? And what the card reads, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So what I'm sensing here is that you are setting up an experience where you will receive some pushback, some adversity, as the card says, some resistance, which should give you an opportunity to see it for what it is, which should give you an opportunity to make the choices that affirm who you are in the face of adversity. Will you be one who will cower in fear, or will you be someone who will face it and show courage and be the light in the situation? Regardless of whatever it is, what you seem to have set yourself up to learn is that adversity, challenges, and difficult situations, oftentimes, if not all the time, are tremendous opportunities to grow and learn about who you really are. Now, let's get real. None of us want adversity. None of us want difficulty. None of us want to experience challenges or will go on looking for one. But I think what is important here to remember or to learn is that it's not just about avoiding these things, but taking them for what it is and choosing who you really are in the face of it. I think that's what you're trying to learn here. And so let's jump back to the other cards to show us what will lead you here and what will support you in this journey. So the first card that you got is friendship. It says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So something tells me that this experience of adversity that you will call forth to learn and to grow will have something to do about relationships, not just romantic relationships, but your relationships in general, and will probably be the ones that are close to you and the ones that really matter. And being in the first position, it means that the lesson has been taught, the opportunity had already been presented, it had already happened. The only difference is if we had learned from it already. And if we don't, then this will put a snag into our journey, into what our soul's trying to do right now. So, whatever it is, reflect on the state of your relationships or a relationship that you are forming now or hoping to grow, and trust that it is there for a very important reason. Now, the second card speaks about something you refuse to see, something maybe you're in denial or just don't see that is influencing you in this situation. And you got blame, okay? And it says here, I accept responsibility for my well being. So something tells me there's a lot of blame going around, maybe blaming the other person, maybe blaming yourself, maybe even blaming God. I think what Spirit is asking here is very simple, that you be aware that blame is such a useless exercise where we think we're going to feel good about ourselves if somebody's at fault, while in fact, the only thing it does is anchor you to the past, anchor you to the hurt from the past, which will prevent you from moving forward where you want to go. And being in the second position, this is saying that you are probably not that aware of this, but it's holding you back. So instead of looking backwards, I think you're asked to look forward, because there's no way you can change what happened. There's no way to undo or unsay what has been said and what has been done. But there are tremendous opportunities to recreate something new. So that's the second card. So the third card here is what is currently present. What energy is at play right now and what you are dealing with right now. And it also can mean what are the blocks that you need to overcome or see, right? So that you can release it or transform it. So you got the doubt card, and it says, I release the need to know all the answers. And being in this position, your doubts about yourself, your doubts about your relationship, your doubts about your worthiness is the problem you're facing. All this self doubt, or possibly even trust issues of the other. So that's what's present right now. And spirit is simply saying, get it out of the way. And what is being called for here when there is doubt is surrender. And I just want to be clear about surrender. Surrender does not mean accepting defeat or being defeated or giving up. And I think surrender means, hey, my way doesn't seem to be working well for me. You, God, should know better. Show me. And it is your job to pay attention. Surrender does not mean giving up and just waiting for fate to unfold. Surrender requires action. And when you are doubting and you are afraid of the outcome, surrender is the antidote. You do not know the outcome, but you trust in the end all will be well because Spirit has your back. Is that clear? Let's move on to the next. The fourth card, the fourth position here is the advice card. And you got perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. And this is pretty straightforward advice. Whatever difficulty or whatever it is that you are and will probably encounter, you need to stay the course. The road to where you are going can be bumpy sometimes, and it will be bumpy every now and then. I often say the universe doesn't give a about our feelings. It's not there to guarantee that all will be happy and fun and that we will never get hurt or be sad ever again. Well, boo hoo, it doesn't work that way. What the universe does instead is just to create and create the opportunities, attract the people, the events in your life that supports who you say you are at this moment, that supports your choices. And many times that requires a challenge. For instance, my lifelong struggle with my weight. Every time I decide and declare I am healthy, I wake up to the smell of bacon the next morning. Why? Because I'm calling forth an opportunity for me to express who I say I am, which is I am healthy. It gives me an opportunity to choose who I say I am. Now, that may be an oversimplified way of explaining it, but I want to drive the point that it is not often easy. And therefore, there is a need for us to persevere. And the great thing about life is that whenever we fail, and clearly I haven't been successful too often with my health, it gives us an opportunity to choose again and choose again. And I think that's what persevering also means, not to give up when we fail, because we can choose again and again and again. And the fifth card here, being the adversity card, as we mentioned, certainly requires you to persevere and choose better, to always affirm who you say you are in this situation. Does that make sense? And I picked a sixth card just to give insight, like an overall insight on everything. We got the loneliness card. Wait, that doesn't mean that you'll end up lonely. On the contrary, what this card says is, I know that I am never alone. And I think this spread is very consistent, and there is really a need to pay attention to our relationships. Because to me, I think nothing else can provide the same kind of opportunities for growth, for learning, for expansion than what relationships can offer us. And as The card reassures us you are never alone. Thanks. I hope that's useful for you this week. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and have a chat with me below. Bye.